hiring somebody is never going to give you confidence. In fact, it'll probably shatter your confidence because you've got to be broken down everything you think about it. So why don't we just start out? Anytime you want to learn something, you've got to break it down and figure out how to do it. So let's start out with the definition of confidence. I'm going to pop it up on your screen here. It's the state of feeling certain. Think about this. Well, Rick, how the hell am I supposed to feel certain about wholesaling or really anything in life if I've never really done it before? And you know what? It's a damn good question. And it is a hard question to answer. And I'm going to deep dive into this and show you actually how you answer it. Why? Because I've walked this talk. I have actually done it. Remember, people talk and then people do actions. Always listen. Always focus on people's actions over their words because you're in a society just full of words. Go on social media. Everyone, I do this, I do that. I don't care what you say. Show me what you do. So if we know confidence is a state of feeling certain or certainty, how the hell do I get it when I've never done a deal before? And honestly, I struggled with this. And I know a lot of people are watching this right now. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do it because a lot of people tell you, you got to fake it till you make it. It's the biggest load of horse crap I've ever heard in my life. And you know what? You're going to feel horrible if you do that. You shouldn't have to fake anything. If you're faking it, you're doing everything wrong in the world. So the fake it till you make it was a great guru slang. And guess what? They're not around anymore. They faked it and made it and they're out of the business. It was fake. And if it's fake, it's not going to last. So to get confidence, guess what we need to do? What is the next step to get confidence if you've never had it in wholesaling? Or honestly, and you can apply this to any part in your life. I want you to understand, you have to get an experience. And this is where you guys, you touch and go on it. So if we know in order to obtain confidence, we must experience something. Let's define what an experience is. It's an event or an occurrence that creates a factual outcome or outcomes. It's basically evidence. It points you in the right direction. And when we all went through school, which we're not going to get into the whole school system today, I'm going to tell you to forget everything you know on that except the math, is whenever you took a science class, you had to create. Did you guys ever do one of those science fairs? Let me know in the comments. You know, the ones where you had to put up the board and you had to prove. So you had a theory and then you had to prove it. This is the exact same thing. Although you're just not thinking about it, you programmed your mind subconsciously. I want to show you how this works. So if an experience is an event or an outcome based on factual things that happen, you know you have to have experiences. Okay, I get it. To be confident, I have to gain an experience. Now, you can't buy experience. Experience is not for sale. It's impossible to buy experience. You can get advice, you can get a mentorship, any of that stuff, but you can't buy experience. You are actually going to have to go through the journey of wholesaling. And you know exactly what I mean by that. So let's talk about this part. It's so important you understand this. So you decide you want to learn wholesaling, right? And hopefully you went over to freewholesaling.com. It's a free course. Me and Zach created it. It's been around for 3+ years. And if you're new to this, make sure you go over there. But once you know that, this is where you get super excited, right? We give you scripts. We teach you about MCTP. I give you videos. I teach you the go for no. I give you 21 years of my experience of everything that I screwed up in wholesaling, and I show you how to fix it. And not only do I tell you, I show you factual evidence like how this is going to go. And don't take my word for it. I show it to you. I show you case studies. I give you recordings. And then I show you exactly how I taught my son. So he was 16, turning 17 when I taught him wholesaling while he was in high school. And I will tell you, I learned the more simplified you made it, the better the results. The problem in our business is it's so damn confusing how people teach this stuff. It drives me nuts. And we're going to get into that. So you're excited. So right now, if you're brand new, go over to freewholesaling.com, or if you need a refresher or you got screwed over by somebody, go over there. 70% of the people that go to freewholesaling.com have bought a course before. I'm one of them, guys. That's why I created it. A lot of us have been screwed over by people. It's just the reality of the business. If people want to try to take advantage of you, they will. They're very short-minded, short-term thinkers, and they never make it in the long run. Remember, I focus on how to teach you how to run a marathon. If you want to run a sprint, you feel like you cheat the system, like you have a huge advantage, it will never last. And in fact, It's more work to run the sprint. You ever run a sprint over and over? Like it's like in a marathon, if you ran a 1 mile sprint 26 times, 0.2. And that's what it feels like when you do that. So this is the part where you guys, everybody does perfect up to this point. And I'm just going through the mechanics of it. This is where you need to pay attention if you've ever quit wholesaling, if you've ever screwed up a wholesaling deal, if you ever felt like crap when something didn't work out, you ever got your feelings destroyed, and you question everything about your life. And listen, let me know in the comments. And guys, I'm not a hypocrite. I went through everything I'm telling you right now. So I got this theory. It sounded perfect. That's great. Now you have to make a decision. So to get certainty, you have to have an experience. Then we have to have an education and training. Me and Zach combined 28 years of experience to give you exactly that. So what's the next step? The willingness to fail. If you cannot embrace this statement, you will not make it as a wholesaler. And honestly, any adventure that you start and you studied a perfect theory, because the reality is, guys, up to this point, everything has sounded perfect to you, right? Sitting on the beach, sucking on a Mai Tai, everything's great. I'm going to make a crap load of money. I'm going to retire my wife. I'm going to take care of my mom. I'm going to pay off her home. And everything's just, I can wake up in the morning looking forward to everything, right? And we all bought into it. I bought into it. You bought into it. But someone forgot to leave out some very pertinent pieces of information. This is where the live stream gets really good. And if you want to understand of how to get through anything, please take note of what I'm about to show you. Now, here's the problem. The willingness to fail, you all say yes. 100% of the people I train in wholesaling, or the people go through freewholesaling.com, they say, yes, I'm willing to fail. I will do anything. I will do anything to be successful in wholesaling. You can replace the word wholesaling in whatever business you want to do. Everybody says it, but who truly means it? And this is the difference I want you to understand and how this works. Now, willingness to fail. Here's the next part that most teachers, most gurus will not share with you because it's a little bit scary and it's going to freak some of you out. And the problem is we're not truthful in this business. And you guys know exactly what I'm talking about wholesaling. Think about, guys, go in the comments right now and put down all the crap you've ever put up. I don't care if you're in day one wholesaling or you're 10 years into it, because I could do a 10-hour live episode on all the crazy things that happened to me, and they ain't all good. And let me give you an example. I'm going to put it up here. You ready? Here we go. Rejection, embarrassment, confusion, complete self-doubt, overanalysis, overthinking everything, being completely embarrassed and humiliated. My feelings got hurt. Rick, she hurt my feelings so bad. I went and cried around the back of the office. Guys, please put in the comments if you have experienced any of the things I'm putting on the screen, because this is the stuff you're all shielded from. And it's just the truth. Why? If you know the truth and you have clarity, you can fix anything you want in your life. But if you're going to go in the deep state of denial, you're going to go down the denial river, this is going to be one of the most painful things you'll ever experience in your life. Why? Because you didn't expect it. You didn't expect it. I didn't know all this is going to happen. Like, I went to school. I'm so proper. I've got a college education. I've got a degree. I've worked for some of the most prestigious people in the business. You get over yourself. Nobody gives a crap. In wholesaling, we reset the boundaries on everything we do. And if you understand that, you can do amazing things. So let me know in the comments if you've experienced any things I'm putting up here. I've experienced every one of them. Why? Because I'm just being real with you. It's the truth. And why I talk to you guys on a daily basis, and I know exactly what you're feeling. You're feeling nothing more different than when the day I started wholesaling. And here's the truth of it. I still have embarrassing moments. I still mess up on deals. I'm always pushing myself to do more. And that willingness to fail is the difference between someone who's wildly successful in wholesaling and somebody who quits. End of story. Are you willing to fail? Honestly, come back, ask yourself, are you willing to fail? Every one of you say yes. And then the minute any of these items pop up, you freak out and you don't know what to do. And this is the part you have to understand. So what I want to do is I want to give you a story of when I started wholesaling. Yeah, back in 2003. Let's go back in the time capsule. I didn't know one damn thing about it. I was completely clueless. I tried to trust people. I had people steal deals from me that were supposed to teach me the business. I'll get you on the next one, Rick. I paid someone a large portion of my profits on one of the deals of what I thought I had, and I found out they didn't know a damn thing about wholesaling, and I wanted to quit. I was so embarrassed about it. I wrote contracts wrong. I put myself as the seller, not the buyer. I did it all the time. Um, I thought I had dyslexia. I had title companies laugh me out of the office. I had buyers tell me I'm going to be the worst wholesaler in the United States. My family ridiculed me, other than my wife and my kids. My own siblings questioned what I was doing. I was told I was a scam artist. I was going to steal houses from little old ladies. I was told by my school teachers, every one of them, I'm never going to amount to anything. You're never going to get a real job. Rick, there's something wrong with you. And guess what? They were all right. And the biggest problem as I had is I gave them the keys to my mind. And if you guys are going through this now, you'll understanding it. You've got to understand you cannot avoid this stuff. It is unavoidable. And the sooner you embrace it, the better off you're going to be. And if you don't believe me, you're kidding yourself. And this is the biggest problem I see with you guys is you think you're going to skip this part of the process. So Ramon puts up fake life story. I don't know who you're talking about, Ramon, but obviously you don't know me because I've been doing this 21 years. I know you're not referring to me. Fake life story. So funny. I've been wholesaling 21 years. I've documented the entire journey. Maybe you guys can help out Ramon on that. So anyways, going back to this is I suck so bad at wholesaling. I should have quit. I should have just gone back to my safe corporate job and I should have run and ducked my tail. And everybody told me to do it. But there was a little voice inside of me that says, why do you even give them any types of credit? And I want you to understand it took me a long time to understand this process. So here's what I'm going to do. Also, think about this, guys. Kobe Bryant, him, Michael Jordan, two of the most disciplined people ever in the sport of basketball. So you don't have to love basketball to understand this, but you do have to understand this, your key moments. So when I was floundering in wholesaling, that is when I was cutting my threads of being an amazing wholesaler. Nobody wanted to give me credit. Nobody wanted to work with me. No one would ever jave me. Nobody would give me money. Nobody gave me the time of day. Honestly, for the first 7 years, I was a complete nobody in the wholesaling business. But you know what? After a while, it didn't bother me. I just did it. So if we talk about Kobe Bryant, the difference in Kobe says, listen, when I take a shot on the winning championship game or Michael Jordan, people go nuts and you hit it. It's the same effect as when I'm shooting in an empty gym. He does not distinguish the two differences because you have to train for the moment. And if you don't train to be a wholesaler, there's nothing you can do that's going to make you any better. And if you understand that, keep this in mind. Kobe and Michael Jordan, they missed more shots than they ever made. But you know what? You only get remembered for the good stuff. So you have to take a crap load of shots. And if you're not willing to take a shots, there's nothing I can teach you in this video that's going to make you more confident to be a better wholesaler to work with your sellers. You see, confidence has to start within here. You're going to have an amazing amount of courage to do this. And if you understand that, you're going to miss more contracts than actually stick. So it's the same Kobe, Michael Jordan argument. And guys, the first 7 years, I was insignificant in this business. Nobody gave me credit. Nobody wanted to listen to me. I'd record a video, maybe 2 people would look at it. What's the difference? The thing is, nobody gives a crap when you're starting out, and no one is going to acknowledge your success. No one's going to acknowledge your effort. And the problem is a lot of you guys want everyone to acknowledge your effort. Let me give you an example. Social media. Let's start with social media. Think about people who want to work out, lift weights, or say lose weight. What is the human tendency when you do that? I got to post about it. I got to show you my results. Why do you think people do that? Why? Because they're looking for external acknowledgement, and it is the wrong way to do things. When you do that, you're looking for other people to acknowledge what you're doing to feel good about yourself. The reality, if you want to lose weight or you want to get in shape or do anything like that, stop talking about it, stop posting about it, and just go out and do it. Because you have to do it for yourself. Because if you're going to depend on the outside world to give you the credit you think you deserve, you are not in control of your life. In fact, you're enslaved by these people. Think about people that you've ever had a revenge factor. I'm going to be successful because, you burned me in the 8th grade. Like, think about when you go back to that reunion, that person's going to be like, you did all this to impress me? Are you like kidding me? Remember, you have to do it for yourself. So the next time you're trying to improve yourself, if you want to read more books, you want to learn more about wholesaling, you want to lose weight, you want to get in shape, make the commitment to yourself, because the only way it's going to work is you believe and make yourself accountable. If you're going to depend on everyone else, your family, your friends to say, oh my God, you're such an amazing wholesaler, you are never going to be in control. And you're constantly going to be enslaved by their opinion about you. You don't believe me? Trust me. Go look at your post and feed. I have a firm commitment. I only post positive things on the internet because there's way too much negativity out there and everyone's very self-serving. And we're going to talk about that one. I promise you. So I want you to understand this. Let's talk about, so we already know where we're going. So we know to get certainty, we have to have an experience. To get an experience, we have to get an education. And the next step is we have to be willing to fail. At this point, you've all said, yes, you'll do it. I'm going to question if you're actually going to get uncomfortable. And that's what it's all about, being uncomfortable. So let's talk about 5 rules to gaining confidence. This works in wholesaling and it'll work in any other part of your life. Honestly, I learned all these the freaking hard way. And if you understand that, you do it. If you will commit to these 5 rules, you will win in wholesaling. Anyone who comes to me that doesn't breaks one of these rules, I promise you, you're going to have gaps in your game and it's going to be problematic. So rule number 1 is the easiest of them all. And most of you screw this one up. You ready? Never give up. Why do you give up on yourself? Do you know what you do to your self-confidence when you give up on something? It gets shattered. You don't even have to worry about external forces doing it. You do it to yourself. You got to stop quitting. Don't make any more New Year's resolutions. That's for idiots. A New Year's resolution is a wish. And if you're going to do a wish, you're probably never going to make it happen because you don't have a plan to put it together. So if you don't give up, you have a great shot in wholesaling, because when times get tough, you get uncomfortable, you get embarrassed, you get rejected, you get humiliated. Your human nature, your tendency is to quit, because that's what the rest of the world does. Do you understand that? You have to understand that. Guys, listen, the reality is the expectation level in the United States is so low, and you're trying to compare yourself to everybody on social media, everything going on around you. It's a joke. Let me give you an example. I wrote down some stats here. Did you know that 60% of Americans, people you compare yourself, are living paycheck to paycheck? I was one of them. I know a lot of you guys watching this. I'm not making fun of you. It's the reality. And it's one of the reasons you've reached out to me through wholesaling to fix that problem. And I commend you, but it's going to take more than just a thought. So 60%, right off the bat, wipe out 60% of the population. You guys are taking advice, opinions. You're getting in arguments on posts on it. By the way, if you argue on a post on social media, you don't understand how life works. Nobody cares about your argument online. It's ridiculous. 50% of Americans make less than $75,000 a year. Did you know that 75% of Americans save less than 3% of their income in either an investment or a savings account? And you're trying to measure yourself up to the rest of the United States. Do you understand that bar is so low and it's dropping, it seems like every year, that if you try to just maintain the average of your friends, your family, it's going to be disastrous. And that's the point I'm trying to make to you. I had to figure this out. I didn't get a wake-up call till I was 33. And honestly, I went on a 10-year journey to break out of it. You see, because it takes some time to undo all the damage that's been done to you, the way you think and everything. And I want you to understand this. You're measuring yourself to some of the lowest expectations in the world, in my opinion. Now go, oh, Rick, there's people starving. Listen, if you want to hold yourself to those expectations, that's fine. It's your choice. But if you truly want to be financially free and have freedom to take care of your family, and most importantly, freedom of your time, your choices and your actions, you got to stop trying to measure up to the average person in the United States. It is a sad state of affairs, but at some point, your personal expectations have to exceed these. So your first expectation is stop quitting stuff. And most of you want to quit right off the bat. You know why? Because it's hard. I get embarrassed. My feelings are hurt. This sucks. This is so much harder than I ever thought it was. Guess what? The reality of the world. If you got sucked into wholesaling that you thought was going to be a piece of cake and super easy, I'm sorry you got lied to. And whoever charged you for it, go get your money back. Because if you knew the truth getting into it, honestly, would you have moved forward? I don't know. And that's only a question that you can discuss with yourself. See, Here's the reality of this. You ready? You guys have an expectation when you get into wholesaling. And this one's going to hit you in the gut. And I apologize up front if it hurts you. Your expectation level, it's not even close to what it's going to take in wholesaling. In fact, whatever you thought wholesaling is, you're going to have to 10x it. And no, Grant Cardone doesn't own the rights to 10x. The reality is you have an expectation. Like, I'm going to make X amount of money and it's going to be, in 3 months, I'm going to be like, I'm going to have more deals I know what to do with. And I'm going to make 50 or 100 grand a month. And then the reality expectation comes and you're looking straight up. You're like, holy moly, I had no idea. Well, the reality is your expectations are so low to begin with that you have to take a realistic approach to this. Remember, I've always told you, you can't fix a problem until you get to the truth. You get clarity. And that's what you have to do. And the only way to do it is reset your expectation levels. And most of you are trying to control how you do wholesaling. Well, Rick, I don't want to cold call. And I told you I called 300 people. I called 20 and I got yelled at and my feelings got hurt. And I just don't want to do that anymore. So do you understand? Like, I'm showing you the patterns. And the really cool thing is I have the incredible experience of being in this business 21 years. I've seen the pattern. This is the same pattern when I started. It's the same thing you guys are struggling with. And I'm telling you, somebody let me know in the comments if like I'm on cue here, because this is the truth. I thought long and hard about this, really hard to put this in words because I'm an ADHD guy. Like, I go through experiences. I've had a ton of experiences. Not that old, but I'm old. But I'm here to tell you, most of your expectations level doesn't meet what wholesaling really takes. And this is what takes you out and you quit. Stop quitting. It's easy to quit. Losers quit. It's just the truth. If you're going to quit, don't start. And if you don't start, you never have a shot. There's people in life that go around and they just never want to take a risk on anything. Well, let me tell you what, the minute you were born, you started dying. It's the truth. So are you going to take the most of your time on this planet Earth and have an impact and have a blast and have fun? Who cares if your feelings get hurt, you get humiliated, embarrassed? You're going to have to go through it. You guys went through it in school, right? You got Hayes. Remember we went to middle school, like, oh my God, those were terrible years for me. And I remember in high school, I'm just like, man, people really care what each other think about each other. It's like ridiculous. And a lot of you are stuck in that mindset and you have to fix it. So the reality is it's going to take 10 times what your expectation level is. It's up to you if you're going to fix that. Now we're going to start digging some serious truths here. And guys, these are my observations, my personal experiences, and everyone I've ever dealt with in wholesaling. So I'm not making this stuff up. Number 3, you ready? This might take most of you out. I'm actually kind of a little bit nervous about posting it, and I'm going to put it up there. Number 3, only care what you think. Ignore what everyone else's opinions. Do I need to read this statement over and over? I'm not looking to score grammar points. So if you want to pick me apart on the grammar, I don't care. I find it so funny when, Rank, you spelled opinions wrong or something. I don't care what you think, and nor should you. The reality is you are completely controlled by others and what they think of you. And let's deep dive into this. How many of you are so worried about what your mom, your dad think of you, your sister, your neighbors? Do you understand this is probably the biggest thing that takes most of you out? I struggle with this. Like right now, I don't give a crap. There's people who post videos about me and Zach. I don't care. The fact that I did freewholesaling.com, I was told by every major guru in the industry, you're committing suicide, you're burning bridges. I didn't burn a bridge. I'm just putting it out what the public wants. This is what people want. And you know what? I believe I was right because I have one of the largest audiences. I provide a service. Everybody's ecstatic about it and everybody wins. And guess what? I'm running a marathon. But the problem is to run a marathon, it's extremely painful in the beginning. The training sucks. And that's what I'm trying to show you right now. So I decided to tackle someone that nobody else endorsed. And you know what? Here's the clue. Once everybody around me says, you're crazy. What are you doing that for? You could charge $10,000. You could make easy money. It'd be so easy. I knew I was on to something. Why? Because I don't want to do what everybody else does. That's been done before. And nor should you care. Listen, if your parents are beating you up, like once you're out on your own, your parents aren't going to be there to help you, support you, keep you safe. Listen, they love you. But the reality is I should have broke off from my parents when I was 18 years old, 100%. And I'm not telling you to do that. You got to make your own choices. But look at your parents' financials and look at their overall happiness. And if you're not happy with it, do not follow that exact same path because it's not going to serve you. I know we feel loyal to our parents, our family, but I'm telling you, every one of my family members fought me. I got laughed at. Poor Rick. And let me tell you, I was broke for a long time when I did this, but I dug out of it pretty quickly. And for 5 years, I got ridiculed by the family. I just took it. And after a while, I go, I just don't care what they think. And if you guys would embrace what I have on the screen right here, it would literally change your life. You're so worried about what everybody else thinks about you, you're letting them control your life. So if you want to be a puppet and you want to make everyone else happy, I guarantee you're going to be miserable. It's the truth. So if you ask a family member, what do you think about wholesaling? Are you kidding me? Here's the reality, guys. Family and friends will tell you what best serves their interest. Suck that in for a second, okay? That's right. When they give you a negative feedback, you're making them feel insecure, and they're going to tell you what best serves their interest. And if that's keeping you down and making you feel bad about it, they're going to do it. I'm sorry, guys. Some of the closest people in your life will sabotage you in this. If they truly wanted you to be happy, they would embrace you. Now, if you're going to accept this or not, I'm just telling you, it is the truth. And I want you to understand this is you have to understand this. You guys are so worried about what other people think about you. It makes you scared. And when you're scared, you can't get anything done. What are you so scared of? Like, who cares? Like, I gave my father too much credit for way too long. And I don't want you to follow the path I did. In fact, you can't. It's not going to work for you. So if you're dedicated to wholesaling and you're committed to it and you want to embrace it and you go, hey, listen, I get it. In order for me to get confident, I have to have the experiences. I'm gonna have to go out there and experience. I'm gonna have to risk failure, and it's gonna get a little bit ugly. And I've committed to not quitting. And then I realized whatever I think it is, I'm gonna have to give it 10 more. I'm gonna take an incredible, massive amount of action to put the odds in my favor. And then, wait a minute. On top of that, Rick, you're gonna tell me I have to ignore what the closest people around me are going to say? Yeah. And I'm here to tell you, if you have a significant partner and they're steering you wrong, you better start looking at that one too, because like you can't fight what you truly want to do in life. And if you're not aligned with who you are, you're going to be in an internal struggle the rest of your life. So I'm not here to give you therapy on it. I'm just giving you wholesaling therapy. You've got to do what's truly going to make you happy. And if you're constantly trying to make everyone else happy except yourself, it is the biggest recipe for failure in life. I know this one for a fact. This is not optional. I'm not going to ever waver on this. And you have to understand that. So if you know that, I'm going to hit you even with a bigger one. And most of you are going to fight me on this. And it's up to you if you want to fight me on this. You ready? Big one, man. Actually, if somebody guesses in the comments, I'm really going to give them credit. I don't think anyone will guess it, but I'll give it like a minute or two and you can put it in the comments. And guys, let me know in the comments, what's Rick going to say next? He's already stacked this up. I feel a huge crescendo coming because it is, I promise you, and put it up there. For those of you that are new, go, hey, what the heck's Rick doing here? Go over to freewholesaling.com. I do teach the education and how to get started in wholesaling. And I don't just talk, I show you the proof, and I do this business every day. Make sure you go there. So let me see in the comments, what am I going to say? Take action, stay off market, all facts. I love this because we're all learning. So we're getting close here. So Hunt for Real Estate Solutions is really, really, really close. Let's just jump into it. You ready? This one, I've always had this written down, and you've got to understand this. And this one's going to hurt. Your feelings don't serve you. They control you. And here's the truth, guys. We all have feelings. We're like, and I'm not getting into the emotions feelings because I deep dive this subject because I'm an expert on it, because I was that person that reacted to everything says. I got my feelings hurt. I was sensitive. You know what? It didn't serve me at all. It actually misaligned me. It doesn't mean you don't recognize your feelings. So if you want to attack me on this, go for it. But when I'm saying when it comes to wholesaling and really it comes to life, your feelings misguide you because your feelings are just a representation of things that happened in your past and you connect with them. So if something bad happened to you, like financial, like, oh, money, I can't do it. I got a bad feeling about it. Guys, wholesaling doesn't care about your feelings. So when a seller chews you out and says, F off, does it hurt your feelings? It's okay to have your feelings hurt. You just got to find a way to toughen them up. And it doesn't mean you're like a nasty person with your direct and immediate family. I want you to embrace the feelings with them. But listen, guys, when it comes to wholesaling, nobody cares what your feelings are. And it's a hard truth to swallow, but nobody cares. The biggest thing is, oh, Rick, it got me so flustered and stuff. Why are we discussing your feelings? Who's in control of your feelings? You are. Guess what? Here's the secret, guys. The only person that can hurt your feelings is you. It's you. It's not the seller. It's not Rick. It's not Zach. It's you. Why do you let people hurt your feelings? You give them permission. You let them in and they destroy and they wreck your day. And you go, oh my God, I'm never going to. I've had so many of you guys go, listen, I got on my 20-second cold call. This guy just called me a name and it just really struck me and it just like scared me. And okay. So if it happens, number one, recognize it. Number two, don't give them the power. If you don't give them the power, they don't get in your head. You don't care. Guess what? When I'm walking down the street, if a guy walks up and says, I think you're a piece of garbage and I hate what you do. Okay, have a good day. I don't give them, like, I don't care. I don't care what a stranger's opinion is of me. And as soon as you do that, let me ask you this. How many of you know a person, or maybe you're the person, that every time somebody cuts you off in traffic, or like every time someone like messes your expectation level, you honk the horn or you give them the finger? And if you do that, you're giving them all your power. What's the point, guys? It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. You've got to understand, you can't give up your power. You have to understand that. And if you understand that, oh boy, the rules change in life real quick. Do you understand when you react to everything, it doesn't mean you don't deal with your feeling. You recognize it, see where it came from, see if you have a link from your past, and try to give it clarity and correct meaning. The guy hung up on me. He hung up on me. Maybe he's having a bad day. Like, it's not my job. I move on to the next one. If you guys will stop letting your feelings attack you, you can change how you operate in business. Actually, in anything in your life. Remember, you can't control everything that happens to you. So distinguish what you can control, everything in your wholesaling business, but there's certain things that are out of your control, like the weather. People get pissed off with the weather, like make me laugh the hardest. Why do you give it any energy? It's ridiculous. So I want you to understand your feelings, they do not serve you. I know a lot of you are going to struggle with that one, man, but look at it. When somebody hurts your feelings, it's a reflection of what's going on with you, your thoughts, your attitude, and your beliefs. And you need to address them and look at them. I'm not telling you to go to therapist, do what you need to do. But when it comes to wholesaling, I don't care what you're feeling. So when you call me and tell me your feelings, you've just wasted 5 minutes on stuff we could actually give you real instruction on. So it's enough on feelings, guys. Address this, because I'm telling you, I've never really shared this publicly, but it is the truth. And I don't care if it upsets you. We're in a world where people are we're trying to cater everyone's feelings. And the most successful people I've ever met, they've all told me, I don't care what your feelings are, Rick. How are we going to fix this? And like, they're like, okay, put it aside. Your feelings are nothing more than a recollection of crap that's happened to you in your past. And you need to deal with it. You need to deal with it. But like, you can't deal with it and just keep reacting. Oh, my feelings are up and cry. There's a time and place for it. But it's not going to serve your business. And anything, it's going to kill your business. So many times we overreact to stuff and it's not the reality. Your feelings get in the way of your perception of what's actually happening. Some of you go, oh my God, I made so many cold calls and I got my butt chewed out. It was horrible. How many calls did you make? I made 32. Wow. So that's a crap load of phone calls and you got destroyed in 32 calls. You don't have control of your emotions and your feelings, and it's clouding your judgment of what actually is happening. And if you don't have the truth, remember, you can't fix the problem. So let's move on to the next one. Number 5, we're wrapping this up here. You're measuring inputs over outputs. Rick, I didn't get a contract this month. You just started wholesaling. Like, seriously, is that your expectation level? I want you to get a contract. Trust me, we're going to focus on the output, the KPIs. But did you give me your best today? And this is why I come with you every day today. My favorite is, Rick, I've tried everything. The biggest cop-out I've ever heard of my life. And you know what, you guys, I hate excuses. Excuses tie up in your emotions. And that's why I have not done a separate excuse one, because I already know your emotions are completely out of control when you give me an excuse. So, God, I've tried everything. Okay. How many calls did you make today? Well, today was an off day. I wasn't feeling good. Okay. How many calls did you make yesterday? The day before, the week before, the month before? Like, really? You just said you did everything. So you've let your feelings and your emotions cloud your perception of the reality of the events. And then you're going to spin it. And you're going to give me what? You're going to give me your story. I'm not buying your story. And you got to stop selling your story to people. Nobody wants to hear it. God, this should be like confession of a wholesaler day. It's absolutely crazy. Do you understand that? I'm going to say, how many contacts did you make? How many leads did you put in? How many government lists did you pull? Did you overcome resistance with persistence? How many driving for dollars leads? How many reverse driving for dollars leads? How many follow-ups did you do? How many RIA events did you attend? I could go on for hours on this. So when you come out with, I've tried everything, I'm just going to hit you with the truth. When you say that, you are trying to contrive a story and you want to sell it to me and you want me to believe it and you want me to what? Acknowledge you, make you feel, I'm not going to do it. Honestly, it has to come from with you. It's not coming from me or Zach or anyone else. And if you understand that, you'll do it. So now that we know the 5 rules, guys, I want you to understand this. I get it, Rick. Those 5 rules. Does everybody understand the 5 rules? I might have to bake them into freewholesaling.com. I just don't want to hit you with too much information. You've got to understand this is how you get confidence. You can't buy it in a bottle. You're not going to be able to physically buy it from a guru. You're going to have to earn it. So how do I earn confidence? Well, why don't we do this? Let's reverse engineer. Tony Robbins does a great exercise. And if you guys ever been to an events, UPW, Unleash the Power Within, phenomenal. It's all about mindset. You ready? Here's how you do it. Reverse engineer it. So I teach you how to reverse engineer wholesaling. Let's do it this. You ready? Think of your 90-year-old version of yourself right now. Go there. No, it's painful, but listen, I want to live plus 100. We're all going to die. So if you can't deal with that, you probably can't deal with wholesaling at all. So probably just turn this off right now. So once you put yourself in your 90-year-old self, ask yourself this. What are you wearing? What does a 90-year-old wear? Think about this. What does a 90-year-old wear? You know what? They wear whatever they freaking want to. Why? Because they want to be comfortable. They don't give 2 craps what anybody thinks about them. And they want to wear the bright fluorescent shirt. Go for it. Why don't you start doing that now? Oh, but I got to wear my designer clothes and I got to have my polo shirt and I got to have this. Listen, I wore a suit for 12 years. Why? I was enforced into it. I didn't have a choice. It was that. And if you think you're ever a free person because you're forced to wear a certain outfit, it's embarrassing, man. I'm just being honest. Think about this, and you go back to the Romans, to everything. The people that were truly free wore whatever they want, and it is no different than it is now. So what are you going to wear? Think about this. It's important because a lot of you don't understand this. Think about this 90-year-old version. Ready? Clarity of your conversations. What's important? Guess what? You're not going to gossip anymore because you don't have time. You just want a deep relationship. The ones that really care, they want the deepest relationship with the people that mean the most to them. And you're not going to get it by gossiping, by, ooh, look who's on the internet. Look what Taylor Swift did today. I can't believe Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce did this. Who gives a crap? Now, I like a good chuckle, but some of you guys go way too far with this stuff and you spend so much energy on your football teams and your sporting events. Why don't you cheer for the biggest fan of all, your family, and go out and make it happen for them? Why don't you go score the touchdown? Some of you guys are too deep in your fantasy football. By the way, I suck at that, by the way. I just do it just because it's fun. And you know why I do fantasy football? For the relationships, because I enjoy it. Now, going back to your 90-year self, are you going to have any regrets? And that's what I'm sharing with you now. What's your regret going to be? Oh, just Rick and Zach, Chewy, this wholesaling thing, and I made 10 calls and this guy chewed me out to quit. And I knew I could have made millions of dollars. I got scared. I got uncomfortable and I went back to what I felt I should do. And I want you to understand this, guys. I'm going to sum this up and then we're going to jump on the lives here. Real simple. You have your past. It's gone. Let it go. Some of you guys are so hung up on this, and me included. We've all had bad stuff happen. I had last year I had my best and worst year all in the same year because my businesses have never done better. It was amazing, but I lost a key family member. It destroyed me. But I have to move forward because I can't sit there and dwell in it. And I know a lot of you guys can relate when you go through that, and it's tough, but we can't stay in the past forever. I'm not here to deal with problems if you need help and stuff like that. I'm just telling you, the past is the past. We all make mistakes. We're all growing every day. And some of us were really mature, made some really horrid mistakes. I know I did. I know a lot of you have, but you got to let the past go. You can't go back and get it because you need to deal with the present, right? And the present is so funny. It's spelled present because it's a gift from God. It's a gift from the universe. Well, however you align, and the more present you can be, the better decisions you can make. And the decisions you make right now, as you're on this live stream, is going to dictate your future. So if we understand that the past is the past, I got to let it go. And we learn from it, but we don't dwell on it. That's step 1. Number 2, being in the present. But more importantly, you ready? Your story. I've talked about this. And I've built this up in this live stream is you guys keep telling yourself a story. God knows I did for the longest time. What is your story you keep telling yourself? You keep telling me why you can't wholesale, why I can't be successful, why I have to get a regular job, why I can't do this. Most of you have let your parents dictate your entire story of your life, and then you've recertified the story in your head, and you believe it all the time. I believed I didn't come from money. I felt like money was the root of all evils. My father said it over and over, and I didn't understand it. Nobody educated on me, and I just felt like the minute I had success, I was going to find a way to sabotage it. And that's human nature. And the reality is, I told myself a BS story. And here's the crazy part, I believed it. So you got to ask yourself, what story do you keep telling yourself? Because the key word, it's just a story. It's just the only difference between really successful people and people that don't make it is the story you tell yourself between your ears. You don't believe me? Go to a Tony Robbins event. He'll unwind this for you. You guys, the story in your head's fake. It's a lie. It's been made up from past events, and people had issues, and you can't own those issues. So if you had a rough childhood, I know I had a lot of issues, that shouldn't define the rest of my life, period. End of story. So what happens is you took the past and you created the story in your head and you've reinforced it, and you keep, every time you have an issue in wholesaling, that story goes, I wasn't meant for this. I can't do that. And I'm here to tell you, think about the story you're telling yourself. Look in your head right now and just say, listen, what is the story I keep telling myself? And you don't have to put it out there publicly, but you all know you have a story you're telling yourself and it's holding you back. So how do you do it? Not my quote. Change your story, change your life. It's from a Tony Robbins thing. You have the ability to change the story. If you don't think you're going to be successful because your entire family has told you you're failing and it's not going to work, change your story. You do not care what you think about the others. You only care what you're going to do going forward. And that leads me to the next one is you let your past go, change your story. So what do I do now? Just go do it, man. Like, do it. What? My God, Nike hit it right. Probably the best slogan I've ever seen in my life. Just do it. Like, just do it. Stop looking at like all these parameters over analysis. What do they call it? Analysis by paralysis. Here's the attitude. No prisoners, no baggage, clean slate. Just go out there and slay it. I give you permission to do it. I'm tired of people telling me why they can't do it. I can't get in your head. I will give you all the instruction. I will give you the help, the advice, everything you need, but take the slogan, screenshot it, do whatever you got to do. Avoiding risk is the riskiest thing you can do in life. Do you understand that? I'm going to play it safe, got to be fresh. It guarantees you a average or below average life. And if you already know the stats in the United States, if you really want to live by that stat then do it. This probably is not the channel for you and you're not going to do well. I've taught my children differently. Why? Because I broke the chains, because I decided one day this sucks. I don't want to do this anymore. I got wildly uncomfortable and I've been uncomfortable every day since. Do you think it's comfortable sitting here talking about all this stuff publicly? I get scrutiny all the time. I don't care. It's the truth. Remember, I don't care what all the gurus watching me right now, and I know every one of you that are watching me, I don't care what you think. That's why you guys all collaborate, because you just copy each other. Me and Zach do the complete opposite. And the day you endorse me is when I know I'm screwing up. So I love when you talk negatively about me. Why? Because I'm rubbing your feathers the wrong way. I'm scaring the crap out of you. And you should be. You should be helping people out. You should be empowering other people. Find a different way. Change the world. That's how Elon Musk does it. That's how Bezos does it. Not that I'm comparing myself to that, but like there is a change doing wholesaling and I'm bringing it to you. So the only way I could have done that is by taking a massive amount of risk. And what's my risk? Listen, we all know where we're going in the end. By doing nothing and you think you're playing it safe, I don't want to be around people that play it safe. It's just, remember, do you want to count the number of days you lived, or do you want to count the number of days you thrived and kicked ass? Oops. So I'll have to blurp that one out. Just telling you guys, you got to make it happen. Let me end you with this. Ready? Courage is not the absence of fear, but rather the judgment that something else is more important than fear. Don't know who did this quote. I copied it, but we can't trace it back to it. I'm not the only person who's ever done it. Read it again. Courage is not in the absence of fear, but rather the judgment of something else that's more important than fear.